Hello, I'm Tim Tedder. In July of this year, 2025, I relaunched this podcast after a 5-year hiatus. I wanted to end this season by looking back at some of the best clips from this year's episodes, along with comments. This is the first episode in a 2-part series. If you listen to podcasts, you probably hear the host asking you to share or rate them. There's a reason for that. It's hard to be discovered in the vast landscape of podcasts these days. So if you find value in this podcast, please help us by posting a positive review and sharing the link with someone else. Do it now, or you'll probably forget.
Welcome to The Recovery Room, a podcast presented by affairhealing.com.
In this healing place, in this healing place.
Let's start with our most downloaded podcast episode. It Feels Like Love, the neuroscience of limerence. Sharon and I interviewed a neuroscientist, Dr. Tom Bellany, about that falling in love feeling that comes at the start of infidelity. Dr. Bellany provided great insights, not just from his research, but from his personal experience.
And the big things about what characterizes limerence, in my view, are intrusive thoughts. So that's a really kind of keystone descriptor. You're infatuated with somebody to the extent that it feels like you're not in control of your own mind, that thoughts about them intrude to the extent that it becomes oppressive, that it becomes difficult to concentrate on anything else. And early on, that's sort of happy daydreaming to an extent, but it becomes quite debilitating, I suppose, as time goes on. And it becomes disruptive to your everyday life, and it makes it very difficult to concentrate on other projects and other responsibilities as well, importantly. But it's a general obsessive interest in this other person. So when you're interacting with them and they're happy and they're giving you kind of positive feedback, you feel a sense of euphoria. When things are not going well, or when you think that they're perhaps unhappy with you for some reason or other, it plunges you into a depression. So this is another feature. It's kind of extremes of emotional states.
In episode 10, we explored the series of compromises and justifications that typically accompany someone's steps into infidelity. And we listened to 2 real-life stories to better understand how these steps are made.
And that eventually led to planning our first outing. And he did specifically say, well, kind of hinted that it was as friends, but we don't really want our spouses to find out about this because they would think of it the wrong way.
So an agreed secrecy.
Yes. He picked a place. It was a nice hidden little restaurant / bar in a quaint little town, and we spent about 5 hours together that day. I didn't tell my husband.
A lie of omission.
A lie of omission. I was obviously supposed to be at work, but I had taken a half day and spent the rest of the afternoon with him. And we did kiss that day. We were already on the path to there were going to be more meetings.
I started off this season interviewing a woman who was betrayed and abandoned by her husband. In episodes 2 through 4, Elisa spoke with great candor about the pain of betrayal, the struggle to make sense of it all, coping as a mother through the process, and coming to terms with the other woman who was being suddenly introduced to her sons.
In the aftermath of him revealing to me that he didn't want to be in the marriage anymore, I still held on steadfastly to the idea that my husband would never, ever be unfaithful to me. I made my case. We have a great relationship. We have barely ever fought. We don't argue. We are in sync about raising our kids, about what to do with our money, how to invest it. We have some really good time together. We take vacations together that we both love. We have a good sex life. Why are you not as committed to this as I am after 18 years without having any conversation with me or sounding any alarm that something was wrong? Is there someone else? Are you seeing someone else? And he looked at me and he goes, who would I be seeing? When would I see someone? He got angry with me. And then I think the next night he came in to my room and yelled at me and said, I've answered your questions. I'm not going to answer them anymore. We had some really ugly arguments during this time where I said to him over and over again, I know she's your girlfriend. I know it. I need you to tell me the truth. You owe me the truth. And he would either shut down and not respond at all, or he would respond back at me with anger. There is nobody else. It's just that I don't want to be with you anymore. You're the problem. You stifle me. I want my freedom. I was crying all day. My anxiety, I've never been an anxious person. I've always been incredibly calm, really not affected by stress very much. And the panic, just the sheer panic of seeing him come around the corner and just being hit with a wave of betrayal. Watching him do something on his phone and being hit with a dread of who's he talking to. It was unbearable. And so I needed him to get out of the house. I've been put in a situation I didn't ask for. I never expected to be in. I never wanted to be in. I have no preparation for it. I certainly didn't envision myself here and then plan for it. So recognizing that I'm going to screw up, I'm going to poke the bear and get in a big fight, or I'm going to say too much to too many people and feel somewhat guilty for not reining it in, but then also, you know what? It is what it is. I may expose my pain to the kids too often at first, but recognizing that I don't have to do this perfectly. I can allow myself to fail and allow myself to just be okay with whatever I'm doing is okay.
Years ago, I was a singer-songwriter. I set all that aside after my affair, but that creativity was reignited at the discovery that I could use online tools to produce songs I'd written. I started writing again, and many of my lyrics, of course, touched on experiences related to infidelity. In episode 13, I asked Betsy Prentice to discuss my song, Haunting of My Heart, which describes a woman, like Elisa, who had been left alone. I know not everyone who has a partner who's had an affair has the experience of being left and is alone on the other side of it. And I also know that there are men whose wives leave them and they're alone. But I wrote this song specifically from the perspective of the woman whose husband is left. And she's sitting there trying to put pieces back together, trying to make sense of a life and a future and a marriage that she thought was one way, and now is discovering the reality is something else. And so it's just that picture of someone that's wandering in a house that used to be a shared place. Now it's only the memory of someone else's presence. What struck you in listening to this song?
When I first heard Haunting of My Heart, so much grief, so much sadness and loss. Like you said, the person is gone, but in so many ways, they're still there. There were a few lines that said, your footsteps echo softly when I walk up the stairs. I feel the warm beside me, but you're not really there. And so you really hear this struggle, this tension. On one hand, the person is physically gone, but at the same time, they are still very much there. They're there in the footsteps, and that word haunting felt so accurate to me. And the song very much sends that message of they're there, but they're not. That ambiguous loss, that struggle, that tension is what I felt when I first listened to the song.
Your footsteps echo softly when I walk up the stairs. I feel the warmth beside me when you're not really there. Your touch is just a phantom passing through my skin. Memories of embraces I will never feel again. I call to the quiet, I whisper your name, but silence won't answer. It's always the same. You're the phantom of my soul, haunting of my...
In episode 21, The Problem with Forgiveness, we considered 3 behaviors often offered as substitutes for forgiveness, but they fall short of the mark. In this excerpt, we examined fake forgiveness and listened to an audio sketch that illustrates the point. If premature forgiveness is forgiveness that comes too soon, fake forgiveness is forgiveness that never really comes at all, but it pretends to. Fake forgiveness says the words, or at least plays the part, but underneath it all, the resentment is still simmering. The hurt is never fully acknowledged, so it has nowhere to go. Instead, it leaks out sideways in passive-aggressive comments, cold silences, subtle punishments. On the surface, fake forgiveness looks peaceful, but peace without honesty is just pretense, and pretense always comes at a cost.
Why are you being so quiet?
You know why.
It was a joke.
It wasn't just a joke. You made me look like an idiot in front of our friends.
You take things too seriously.
No, you've been doing this ever since... You know what?
Since you cheated, you mean?
I thought we worked through it. You said you forgave me.
I did.
Then why do you keep doing these things that hurt me? Every time we're out, you find some way to put me down.
Oh, come on. I was just having fun.
Yeah, I know.
Let me say a word about the audio sketches that sometimes show up in podcast episodes. I've wanted, when possible, to add my own sense of creativity to the Affair Recovery Room podcast. It started with discussing original songs on the Song Talk episodes. Eventually, I added on the street interviews. And then I started producing original audio sketches to help illustrate topics being discussed. Now, these segments take a bit of work to produce, but they stir up the creative part of me in ways that I really enjoy. I've never received any feedback about them, good or bad, so I'm not sure how they're being received, but I hope you enjoy hearing them half as much as I like making them. The next episode, number 22, continued examining forgiveness, this time focusing on the power of genuine forgiveness. It included comments from Jen, a woman who found forgiveness after her husband's multiple affairs.
It's funny because I remember sitting on the couch in your office being like, I just don't think I will ever be able to get over this. And I kept thinking, I will never, ever be able to forgive him for this. I don't even understand, the depths of what real forgiveness feels like, because I can't imagine feeling any type of forgiveness to him. And one thing is that he just went above and beyond to prove his love for me and prove just how much I meant to him. And he really did win me back. And even though he had gone through all those steps and some time had passed, I didn't ever feel forgiveness at first, but I chose forgiveness. So it was a choice for me. It was a choice for me to do it. And I decided that I was just going to start acting like I was forgiving him, even though I didn't have the feelings of it. And The amazing thing that happened was when I chose action first over the feelings did come eventually. The feelings of forgiveness and the feelings of love came back. But it was different in a way that I loved him in a new way that I had never loved him before.
Some years ago, I met a man who had decided to leave his marriage and family to start a new relationship with his affair partner. I made him a unique offer. I would continue coaching him at no cost if he permitted me to record our conversations. I didn't know where Kevin's choices would take him. I only thought his journey, however it ended, might be of help to others who were considering a similar choice. We talked for 3 years. You can listen to Kevin's experiences, as they happened, in episodes 30 through 33. Here's one excerpt.
You're someone who struggled through choices, made a choice that by probably a lot of people's measure would not be a popular one. And yet, you're telling a story with your life, and there have been things that have been hard about that. There have been things that have gone in ways you didn't expect in a negative way. There have been things that have gone in a positive way. I'm not trying to make this story anything that's not. It's just your story. And none of us knows a year from now and 5 years from now where our life is going to be. You've learned some things, and you will keep learning things from, this point on. But I'm just kind of most curious if you could go back and talk to that guy that was in the conflict of choices you were making. What are the kinds of things that you wish you knew, or that you would say to yourself, or that I don't know how to, you can take it where you want to. I'm just kind of curious as to what your experience has been and how you're thinking about things now.
Well, I'm not sure it's the perfect answer, Tim, but even all those years I was married to, I had made emotional connections with other women that I see now were not right. In a way, I'm glad I did this, because I feel like it wasn't fair to keep having these, I don't know what you'd call them, like flirtatious relationships with other women that, I don't know. Because now I see what I did. In a way, I feel like it helps me grow into somebody today who realizes that those types of things are dangerous. And I'm very cognizant of not having those types of friendships.
In episodes 28 and 29, we explored some of the unhelpful advice people give about affairs and affair recovery. One suggestion we highlighted was the idea that couples should jump straight into marriage counseling after an affair. Not always. Joint counseling won't get far until both partners are on the same page about what they're working toward. And beyond that, the specific wounds of infidelity, like the shock of betrayal or the unfaithful partner's own reckoning, need care before anyone starts polishing communication skills or brushing up on conflict resolution. To show how some marriage counselors skip past that deep hurt and race toward preventative work, I put together a little sketch using physical injury as the stand-in. After all, nobody treats a broken leg by offering running tips.
Hey, watch out! Oh no. Somebody call 911.
We need a doctor.
I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor. Now, please step back. Let me have a look. Oh, my. You certainly are out of shape. How long has it been since you've exercised,
He just got hit by a truck.
Right. Well, that's why we need to get him on a fitness plan right away. A little cardio, some stretching, maybe cut back on those carbs.
Shouldn't you stop the bleeding first? And his leg, it's obviously broken.
Oh, there'll be time for that later. Let's build some core strength. Somebody, go get a yoga mat.
Are you nuts? He doesn't need yoga, he needs an ambulance.
There. You're going to be fine. This is what I'm trained for. We've got to get back to the basics.
Let's finish by returning to a conversation about the song This Healing Place, a song I wrote as the theme for this podcast. I'll end this episode with the entire song.
I think about even beyond the more specific type of work that you're doing, I even just think of depression and how convincing depression is, that I can't even remember what it was like to feel joy. Yeah. So to see that's the hope, right? Yep. The brighter day, you won't always feel this way.
Yeah. I think that's why many times we're attracted to people who have been through something similar to our experience and have come out the other side. And why there's so many therapists that are therapists, because they've had to do their own battle against, in my case, it's been infidelity. For others, it is anxiety, depression, or addictions, or whatever. People who have been through that and come through and have experienced healing. We want to share that with others, to give them hope and to help give them tools that have been helpful to us or other things we've learned along the way. We want to create the healing places for people to come to and be able to go out and face that new, brighter day, whatever it is for them.
Yeah. Well, the song certainly takes the journey, right? Of validating all those places through that lens of tenderness and compassion, and providing that safe sandbox, really, to be able to work it out, so that when they go out into the real world in between therapeutic sessions or beyond therapeutic sessions, they can begin to live out that brighter day.
Well, let's end by just playing the whole song.
Sounds good.
Come as you are, bring pieces you've saved. Fragments of you, so broken, so brave. We'll sit with the sorrow, release all the shame, restoring what's shattered, reclaiming your name. In this healing place, there's room to feel, to breathe through the hurt, believe wounds can heal. Faith over failure, hope over pain, finding the courage to love once again. It's okay to stumble and question the path. Feel the pain of the loss, but not let it last. There's strength in the waiting, grace in the fall. We're building back bridges and breaking down walls. In this healing place, there's room to feel, to breathe through the hurt, believe wounds can heal. Faith over failure, hope over pain, finding the courage to love once again. This is a heartache that hollows your soul, making you doubt you'll ever be whole. But others have come here much the same way, opening doors to a new, brighter day. In this healing place, there's room to feel, room to feel. To breathe through the hurt, believe wounds can heal, wounds can heal, wounds can